Hello and welcome to Cup of Tea Reviews. My name is Tim and I'm joined as always by Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me.
Tim, we watch movies to be entertained, but so many of them are duds.
We watch the movies that can go either way, good or bad, and we let you know if they're worth your while.
We waste our time so that you don't have to.
That's right, Michael, and today's movie is Violent Night. It is a 2022 Christmas action comedy starring David Harbour. Michael, please give us your hot take.
Tim, this movie was my cup of tea. It was completely surprising.
Yeah.
I did not know what I was getting into when we started watching this, but I had a great time. And at the end of the day, that's what we watch movies do, is have awesome time. So I really like this. What about you?
This movie was my cup of tea. It checked all the boxes. It was really surprising. It had some great performances. It was well-paced. And it was a really fun time. I just had a good time watching the movie.
So Tim, why don't you tell the people about it?
A burned-out and cynical Santa Claus finds himself contemplating retirement when suddenly he is caught up in a hostage situation in one of the houses he visits on Christmas Eve. Michael, where do you want to start with this thing?
I want to start with what we liked, Tim, which is this movie was continually surprising.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of movies on this podcast. We're at the point where the vast majority of the films we watch, we know what's going to happen, or at least have a reasonable prediction that's pretty close to the mark. This movie, I had no idea what was going to happen, and the entire movie was insane. I was on my toes the whole time. The premise alone feels very silly and fun, but they managed to draw it out into a 90-minute movie that really, really worked. It could have been a one-joke thing, but they found a great way to breathe life into it and keep you on our toes and surprised the entire time. I love that about this film.
Yeah, it was very surprising. Also, the action is fantastic. It's well choreographed. It's well shot. You can always tell what's happening. There's some really creative elements they add in. Santa Claus's magic bag is used multiple times during fight scenes in really fun, unique ways. It incorporates great choreography and just some really brutal and hilarious kills in this movie. You know, a guy gets his head cut off with an ice skate. You know, things like that you're not expecting, but as soon as it happens, it's absolutely hilarious. So it's comedic action, but it's also just really hard-hitting, well-done choreography.
The intensity of the action is one thing that kept me in this film the entire time, which is you have no idea where this movie's line is.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you never know what crazy thing they're going to do next.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the middle of the film where they use a nutcracker to break a guy's finger off.
Yeah.
And it's brutal and it's disgusting and you're like, oh no! You know, you have that reaction.
Yeah.
And then they're like, get the big nutcracker. We're actually going to break this guy's balls. And you're like, oh my God, we might actually have to watch this. Like, you don't know though, like, is that a line? Are they actually going to do that? Are they not? And that tension of just not knowing how far they're going to go with some of this action because it's so brutal and it's so gory. It's intensity driving.
Yeah. But it's also often comedically gory. Like I wouldn't call this like a brutal. Like, it's not like a horror movie. They go all out in this sort of comedic gore, especially with this Home Alone sequence where the little girl, she sets up a bunch of traps, and it's like, what would Home Alone actually look like? And it'd be very bloody as they're like stepping on nails and stuff. It's really funny because they push it over that line, make it comedic. I also want to call out the performances. The little girl who sets up those traps is played by Lee Brady. She's awesome. She gives a fantastic performance. I also love David Harbour as the hero and John Leguizamo as the villain. They're all doing great work. I really enjoyed everybody in the movie.
So Tim, what didn't work for you here?
The biggest thing that didn't work for me was the family dynamic. They try to force sort of a Hallmark ending with the two parents of the little girl. They're estranged. They're going through a divorce. And in the end, they get back together because it's her Christmas wish. The problem is I don't want to see them get together. They've written these characters in such a way that they really shouldn't be together. I think divorce or therapy would have been a better option for these two. And because they're going for the Hallmark ending, I think they do what they do, but it didn't work for me. What about you, Michael? What didn't work for you?
I agree with you. When they do this in movies, it's like, hey, write the characters to be more likable. Like, if you're going to try to put them together at the end, at least have them have some chemistry.
Yeah.
The other thing that didn't work for me is just there's a lot of family politics. So this is a very rich family that's being held hostage. There's a lot of conversations about money and who gets the money and everyone's sucking up to grandma to get money and who's the favorite child. It's like, I don't care. And they even shoot it in a way that it makes the audience not care. Yeah. And that's something that I didn't really enjoy about the film. With that said, it's a small nit in a film that in general was pretty good.
Yeah. Michael, when should somebody watch the movie?
I would not recommend this to everyone, Tim. It is very bloody. Yeah. But for the people who are into that type of thing, this is a must-watch. This one was really fun. Yeah, if you're looking for something that's very different, very surprising, and is a good, fun watch, if you're into some of that gory stuff, you'll enjoy this. What about you?
I would absolutely recommend it with the same caveat. If you're not into blood and guts, this is not going to be for you. But if you're looking for a surprising, engaging, fun counter-programming this Christmas, while everybody else is watching Love Actually, you can put this one on. I think it's going to be a really good time for you. Thank you all for watching.
Join us next time on Cup of Tea Reviews.